Hey guys, welcome back to the Wild Wrestling Channel. I am your host, Seth. Today I'm giving you guys the my AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts predictions. So let's hop right into the video. Play the intro. First up, we have Hangman Adam Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs. This match is definitely one that needs to be there tonight. It is the AEW World Champion needs to be on the card. This is a way to hype up Hangman's match against Samoa Joe at Full Gear by having one of his Ops brothers and Powerhouse Hobbs take on Hangman Page. And over the last couple weeks, ever since we saw the heel turn at Wrestle Dream, Hangman has been hating on the Ops, and they've all been hating on Hangman. So this is like a perfect match that doesn't feel like some guys is getting in the way to fight Hangman. They both still have that beef, even though Hangman might have more beef with Joe. He still has that beef with Powerhouse. This will be a brutal match, as they don't even need the cage. They don't need the two rings. They can just throw these two together with the beef they have and what they're willing to do to each other and let them absolutely destroy each other. And this might be just as brutal as some of the Blood and Guts matches if they really take it there. And after the whole thing, I'm going to take Hangman to get the win here. Probably see some Joe and Ops try to get involved in the match, but I think with Hangman with the win here, it'll let Samoa Joe... He'll send the message to Samoa Joe ahead of their match at Full Gear, which then we'll be waiting for, and we can get the build-up over the next couple weeks, and get to Full Gear, where Hangman will finally face Joe. Next up, we have the first ever women's Blood and Guts match between the team of Mercedes Moné, Megan Bayne, Marina Shafir, and the Triangle of Madness, taking on the team of Chris Statlander, Toni Storm, Willow Nightingale, Harley Cameron, Jamie Hayter, and Queen Aminata in a crazy Blood and Guts match. Many people have been talking about this Blood and Guts match is more hyped up than War Games, and it's because they're not waiting. It's not a year-round tradition where it's always a certain date where it has to happen. Blood and Guts literally used to be in July, but they've been saving it, waiting till they get those big rivalries, and now they can finally execute it for a great Blood and Guts match. It's just because rivalries thrown together, but they're all great rivalries that have been going on for months at this point, and need to get finished here in Blood and Guts, or at least set up their finish here in this brutal match. This is going to be brutal and crazy, as there's so many small rivalries between people like Mercedes Moné and Chris Stat, the Triangle of Madness and Queen Aminata, Jamie Hayter. You still got like Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale aren't the biggest fans of like Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, and like Marina Shafir throws in a nice touch in there. She's had some troubles with Toni Storm, Chris Statlander, those people as well. So everyone together makes a brutal match. So much heated, as there's so many different rivalries all coming together for a brutal match that should be crazy, full of weapons, wildness, crazy spots, and it will be definitely one to remember. The first ever women's Blood and Guts match, so they're gonna make it one that will go down the history books that everyone will remember. And in the end, after the entire match, I'm taking Chris Statlander's team to get the win here. I think this will be a great way to go into Full Gear, as much as it probably would be better to have Mercedes Moné's team win going into Full Gear. I think that Mercedes, I think that their team is on a wave of momentum, as Willow and Harley just won their match in the AEW Women's World Tag Team Tournament, and I just think we're going to keep rolling through that momentum going into Full Gear, and you never know, maybe if Chris loses here, that's all just going to set up Mercedes winning there, but either way, I think Chris Statlander's team will get the win in the first ever women's Blood and Guts match. And the men's Blood and Guts match between the team of Jon Moxley, Pac, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Daniel Garcia of the Death Riders, taking on the team of Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Orange Cassidy of the Conglomeration, teaming up with Darby Allin. This, just like the women's match, has had so many bloodthirsty rivalries coming about across months of fighting, and it'll finally execute here, as I don't know if it's going to stop here or continue, but like the women's match, it'll just be a big part in all these storylines, as all 10 of these men are going to do anything to take. They all have so much hatred for each other's teams, and they are going to want to absolutely brutalize each other, tearing each other apart to the best of their abilities, and using every weapon they can get their hands on. This will be a brutal match. It is very interesting how Roderick Strong got the win in the advantage match to see how that plays out. As usually, I feel like the Death Riders would have done better with the advantage, getting the one-up on them constantly and having a new person come in. So it'll be interesting to see the Death Riders having the non-numbers advantage, unlike in the Women's War Games where they gave the heel squad with Tekla getting the victory at Collision, giving the heel squad the advantage, which will allow the baby faces to have to keep coming in to save. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But I think this match is going to be very entertaining, very hardcore, very awesome to watch. Crazy spots. If we learned anything from that Forbidden Door Steel Cage match, it will know that this rivalry is brutal, and they are going to do anything they want to get the victory from the Death Riders and guys like Darby Allin on the other side. And this is going to be amazing. Super high action, super fast pace, and just crazy moves. And will definitely, hopefully, leave us speechless by the end of the match. And after a brutal and crazy match, here's the thing, the babyface team, you always want to get the win here. You want them, this would be a great way for them to get the win here. I'm just trying to think of, if we look at Darby Allin's squad, Darby Allin just beat Jon Moxley at Wrestle Dream, and I feel like the biggest thing is if they give that the win, they're really going to start to make the Death Riders lose their momentum. So I feel like the only way to kind of keep it up is to let the Death Riders win here. Plus, I just have a hard time thinking of the conglomeration standing over the Death Riders, especially of that group. Plus, with Mark Briscoe facing Kyle Fletcher, I don't feel like it's right for him to get a win over the Death Riders and move on to Kyle. I feel like he's too focused on the other side. Maybe Kyle gets involved, you never know. But I'm going to take the Death Riders to get the win here. Just like I said, I think they really need it here. So I'm going to take the Death Riders to get the win here in the men's Blood and Guts match. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, comment down below if you enjoyed this video, and turn on that bell so you get notified whenever I upload a brand new video. I post every Monday and Friday, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.